Am I the a-hole for not telling a guy what I do for work and letting him pay for my drinks the whole evening? My friend Grace invited me to a board game bar to play and have drinks with her boyfriend and one of their friends Nick. We went to get drinks in pairs, Grace going with her boyfriend, meanwhile Nick and I stayed at the table and vice versa. So Nick and I had plenty of time to talk, just the two of us. Nick started the night by telling about his recent career change. He decided to quit his previous job, go to a coding bootcamp, and he got a job as a developer 1 or 2 months ago. He was very proud of himself and his new salary and told me this multiple times. He never asked me what I do for work, but talked about his new job quite a lot, occasionally saying sorry, you don't understand that, ha. During the entire evening, I never told him I has been working as a software engineer for the past 4 years, because he never asked, and honestly, I found it a bit entertaining. When it came to the drinks, he invited me to every single one. Don't worry about it, it's not a problem with my developer salary. I told him multiple times he doesn't have to pay for me, but he insisted. At the end of the night, when we were saying our goodbyes, he took out his phone to send me a friend request on Facebook. My job is listed in my profile, so that was when he realized that I'm a software engineer. He asked me if it's true that I'm a software engineer and I answered yes. He asked me why I haven't told him. Why did I let him believe I was a cashier like Grace used to be? I was confused, I never implied that, and why did I let him pay for everything when I probably earn more than him? I told him that he never once asked and it was his fault, he assumed. He could have simply asked me about my job, but he only wanted to brag about his. But if he wants me to, I can pay him back for the drinks. He was angry, embarrassed, and said I made a fool out of him. I think he did that, not me. But now Grace and her boyfriend are on his side too, saying that it would have cost me nothing to tell him earlier in the evening and I only kept it for myself for my own entertainment. Well, I did find it entertaining, but I don't really feel like I did anything wrong. Am I the a-hole?
Can I be mad at my friends for making plans at my house without inviting me? Hello, so last week I invited 2 of my friends over, Ina and Lily. We hung out, played games, had fun, and they slept over. The morning after, one of my friends, Ina, and her family were going to Six Flags. Apparently she wanted to bring people with her, and started texting her dad about it. I have a VR headset, so me and the other friend, Lily, took turns playing on it. When it was my turn, Lily went over to Ina and the two started whispering. They were really bad whispers though, because I could hear what they were talking about. I could also see them glancing at me every now and then, like secretively, then giggling. A little after that, we went downstairs to eat breakfast. I sat at the table and ate my food while trying to make conversation with them, but they kept staring at Ina's phone. Then Ina's dad called her and said she could bring Lily to Six Flags. The two got really excited and started jumping up and down in front of me. In an attempt to be nice, I said I hope you guys have a good time, in which they looked at me and gave me a half-hearted, sorry. They then just sat together and planned what they were gonna do together, while I sat next to them and gave comments every now and then, which they ignored. After they left I kinda just sat down and was sad. It's been a week but I'm still kind of bitter about it. I understand Ina could only invite one friend, but did they have to do it in front of me? Or act secretive about it? Am I right to be upset about this?
Am I the a-hole for making a joke about my brother's divorce? My wife Elle and I have been married for a year now. Back in the day, Elle worked as a sports model. Her job required her to meet a very rigid beauty standard and look a certain way. She was always on a strict diet and was severely underweight. Since then, she's gained a healthy amount of weight and muscle, and is much happier. My brother, Chris, is wealthy, like extremely wealthy. He's done well for himself and seems happy about where he is in life. He's just got out of a nasty divorce with his ex-wife and is asked to stay with me for a few weeks as he moves into his new place. Chris, to put it simply, has a type. He believes that every woman should subscribe to his type. Any woman who doesn't fit his preference is automatically ugly and unlovable. He wants all women to conform to his standards, hell or high water. 2 days ago, Chris found some of Elle's old magazine covers and commented on how beautiful she was back then. It's a harmless comment, sure, but he kept bringing up how much she's let herself go. I mean, kept bringing it up. Elle goes for a run every evening and as she was heading out the door, Chris told her to run fast enough to lose all the flabby bits. She rolled her eyes and laughed it off, but I told him to shut up. The next day, when Elle went to the gym, he told her to make sure to return to her old figure. Again, I told him to shut up and stop fixating on my wife's body. Despite all his comments, Elle is a little unfazed by all of it. She says that she's used to it. By the end of the day, I was completely exhausted from listening to him. I was at my end, but Elle again brushed him off with a smile and with a laugh. When Elle served him food, he made a joke about paying for her tummy tuck so that I can marry the right version of Elle. The right version is the skinnier version of her. That comment set me off. I told him that his wife married the wrong version of him, and to pack his shit and leave my house. He did not take kindly to this, and complained about how insensitive I was to his situation and how I made a low blow. He eventually left, but Elle tells me that I could have kicked him out without the comment. Am I the a-hole? I keep meeting my birth mom, but she doesn't know it's me. She had me when she was 14. And I, 24M, was given up for adoption. My parents told me about her growing up. I still have the letter she wrote me that she asked if they could give it to me if they wanted. It's crazy reading it sometimes and knowing it was a literal child who wrote it saying she's sorry she couldn't be my mommy but she hopes I'm happy. She was open to having contact, but we moved for my dad's job when I was 11 and then it seemed impossible to find her. But luckily I did. She's working at this small restaurant and I keep going, but she doesn't know it's me. We talk sometimes and she seems like a nice lady. Sometimes when she says something like, "Do you want a refill, honey?" or uses another term like that, I want to tell her. I don't know why it makes me nervous. We talk sometimes and she seems really genuine. If it's not super busy, she's more open to talking about random stuff. I literally drive 2 hours to come eat at this place just to see her. And it's like she knows me already, because I'm there once or 2 times a week for the past 3 months, so she always says hi with a big smile. But man, if only she knew. I swapped my girlfriend's disgusting cooking at my grandmother's funeral. Here's what happened. I want to preface this by saying I love my girlfriend dearly and she has a lot of passion. This passion includes her love for cooking. Unfortunately, there is a disconnect between that passion and actual skill/edibility in anything she makes. She is horrible at it. Everything she makes is undercooked, overcooked, not enough spice, too much spice, etc. I've tried to lovingly nudge her in the right direction over the years, but every time I say something she wells up in tears and I feel like a bully stomping a toddler's sandcastle. I have been food poisoned more times than I can tell you, and the saying is true: love hurts, man. I've spent so many nights bird feeding my toilet bowl, to which my girlfriend claims I must have a weak stomach. Me? Weak stomach? 23 hot dogs in a row, summer camp champion having a weak stomach. Yeah, okay. Anyways, on to the main story. My grandmother passed away recently and everyone was asked if they could bring a food dish to her wake, funeral gathering. Well, my Michelin star chef girlfriend decided she would step up to the plate, pun, and bake some cheese buns with little chunks of something that vaguely resembled food. While she was at work, I took a chomp of one and I almost joined my grandmother in heaven right then and there. It was absolutely putrid. I quickly washed it down with the first drink I found in the fridge. It was buns, man, just cheese buns. How was it even possible to mess that up? It's like she has a brain-damaged ratatouille whose dream is to take vengeance on humanity by poisoning us one dish at a time. So I put on an apron, I didn't, and baked my own damn buns with beef. They came out fine. I'm not the greatest baker, but they were edible. I gave them to my mom to take with her while she was preparing for the wake, since she would be there earlier than us, so she could place them out of sight before my girlfriend arrived and noticed the switcheroo. Thankfully she never noticed, and my auntie thanked her for bringing them and said she really appreciated her help. Everyone was happy, minus the whole grandmother dying thing. I will never tell her the truth. She will always feel she did something beautiful for my family, and I will continue my side dating the toilet.